picking up some food at Lazy Dog. I get a Cobb salad here that is really big and around like $11, which can be a little pricey, but it's a really good salad, and they pack it with a lot of ingredients. I drove up to Julian today to kind of look at the area because there were a few houses that I saw there that I thought would be pretty good in terms of what I would be looking for in the future. I was mainly just curious, but I was a little disappointed. I think my imagination of what it would be like there was much different than what was logical for being a town kind of located, isolated in a sense. Like there was one gas station. I don't know if it was the entire town, but there was one, and we went to it, and it was small. I don't know why I'm saying this, but yeah. So I went to one of the houses that I found on Zillow, and the interior, the pictures looked really nice. There was a gate, so I wasn't even able to get close to the house, but the roads leading up to it were really steep, and some were like very poorly, they were in poor condition. Just that in itself was such a huge turnoff for me, because I understand the need for, steep roads because these houses are located on hills or like very high up, but I feel like, the road leading up to it needs to be acceptable, especially since this is your home. And that was just terrible. We even drove by some nicer houses that were, located on the edge of a cliff that had amazing views, but the roads leading up to it were like narrow. They were still very lackluster. So I know it was really just my first impression there, but just based off my first impression, I highly doubt I could ever see myself buying a house there, because you need to tick off a bunch of boxes when you're buying a house. It's such an important and high investment, and those are big factors that really decrease the value and just how I felt about the general area. I ended up going hiking a little bit with Riley afterwards, even though my knee doctor said that I should start on level ground. I kind of disobeyed him and there was some inclines and declines. I took them slowly. I tried to make sure there was not too much impact on my knee. I did feel a little bit of the pressure on my kneecap towards the end, but I didn't really go far at all. It was really just a 1 mile loop or something small like that. But I'm kind of glad I was able to get out. Riley got in some fetch time actually, because there was a field nearby that had decently level ground and short grass. A lot of the issues I have with local places around here is just that it's either all dirt, which makes it all dusty, and she gets extremely dirty when she's running around, or it's like a pretty meadow, but realistically, if you wanted to think about her running through it, or even me just walking through it, it just wouldn't be comfortable. So this was pretty good for fetch. I was able to get in a lot of throws. She ended up being extremely tired, and then we headed on back. It was a really crappy ride too. That's another thing. On the way north up to Julian, it's all just windy roads, and those are a nightmare to drive in. So if I had family visiting and I had to go to San Diego to pick them up and then drive them back through that crappy windy road, or I would have to take that windy road out, depending on which direction I was going, I would go crazy. So that's another factor which I was not fond of. But I mean, it's good that I went to check it out, I guess, because before that I had this very idealistic view of what that place would be like, and now that I've been there, I would say that it's definitely not what I'm looking for. But I was glad I got out. It was a beautiful day. Got her out some off-leash time, so yeah, I'm very exhausted. Just going to probably watch a movie and then call it a night. What the fuck? Aw, look at these two cuties. Riley. Good girl. Milo. Just straight up ignoring me. Oh, hi. Now you look. Look at those eyes. Just so blue. Actually, when he was first a kitten, at 2 weeks old, his eyes were super blue. And I was concerned that if he maintained the super blueness, it would look kind of creepy, because they did when he was a kitten, but now they're fine. Right? Mama.